Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at Psalm 105, an encouraging psalm that reminds us that God is a God who remembers. In the first part of the chapter, God mentions the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He chose them. He made a covenant with them. Oh, that reminds me of how God made a covenant with us. In John chapter 15, verse 16, Jesus said to the disciples, "You did not choose me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you would ask of the Father in my name, He'll give it to you." So what do you do when you're going through a difficult time? You're facing a major challenge like the people of Israel often did. And even now, we believe the occasion of this psalm is the people are going back into the land of Canaan after a long period of captivity, have major challenges, difficulties. They've gone through a dark, difficult time. What do? You remember, and you remember what? That God remembers. God remembers how you are His people. You are His chosen ones. And that's what happened in the first part of the chapter. And then he goes and recounts the history of Israel, and he talks about, and I love it over and again through this chapter. And I circled this years ago, where in verse 6 it says, "He is the Lord our God." And then you continue to go through the notice He, God, the personal God. He permitted in verse 14 no one to do them wrong. Verse 17, He sent a man before them. Verse 21, He made him Lord of His house. And then you go on down. He increased His people greatly in verse 24. 25, He turned the hearts of their hearts to hate His people. Verse 26, He sent Moses, His servant. In 28, He sent darkness. 29, He turned their waters. He spoke in 31. He gave in 32. He struck in verse 33. Verse 34, He spoke. In verse 36, He also destroyed. 37, He also brought them out with silver. He spread a cloud in verse 39. He opened the rock and waters gushed out in verse 41. Man, what you see is a God of action. He sent, He provided, He made. Oh, my friend, you can always depend upon your God. And so you see, they remember what God remembers. They recount the history. And when you come to verses 26 to 41, let me read these verses, and you see God's awesome judgments. He remembered that He needed to deliver His people, and He did it through His judgments. He sent Moses, His servant, and Aaron, whom He had chosen. They performed His signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they did not rebel against His word. He turned their waters into blood and killed their fish. Their land abounded with frogs, even in the chambers of their kings. He spoke, and there came swarms of flies and lice in all their territory. He gave them hell for rain and flaming fire in their land. He struck their vines also and their fig trees, and splintered the trees of their territory. He spoke, and the locusts came, young locusts without number. They ate up all the vegetation in their land and devoured the fruit of their ground. He also destroyed all the firstborn in their land, the first of all their strength. He also brought them out with silver and gold, and there was none feeble among His tribes. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them had fallen upon them. He spread a cloud for a covering, and fire to give light in the night. The people asked, and He brought quail. He satisfied them with the bread of heaven. He opened the rock, and waters gushed out. It ran in dry places like a river. And so you see God now went from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, went to Joseph, and how He prepared a man. He sent a man before him, and now He prepares and has a man called Moses and his brother Aaron to lead the people. And God sends His judgments to deliver them. A God who is a God of judgment. We're reminded of that. He will judge the wicked. He will bring judgment upon those who persecute His people. Yes, my friend, you can depend on Him and trust His promises today, especially in a world where you see it's gone crazy and it's chaotic and there's so much violence. Trust the Lord today. Your Lord Jesus loves you. He cares for you. He will take care of you today. God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.